Well, the scenes that we've witnessed in Riverlea this week could be straight out of a Hollywood movie. Gun-trolling men wrapped up in traditional blankets have terrorized the community and even have police officers running for cover. Rival zama gangs have been battling for control in Riverlea, and eNCA reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones is on the ground now. So let's cross over to him, of course, to find out the very latest. Pule, a very warm good morning to you, colleague. And I suppose another day and another, a focus on zamas in Riverlea. What's the latest you can tell us this morning?
Yeah, definitely. The search does continue for suspected zamas. In fact, what we've also now picked up is that other neighboring communities as well are also fearing for their lives, in a sense that they believe that these operations could now spill over into their communities. But police are hard, at hand here in terms of apprehending these suspected zamas. I believe these operations have been going on for quite some time right now, since about 3 days ago. And I'm going to ask my colleague Gama to just pan on my left hand side, and you have a look. There's so many police vehicles here on my left hand side, and they're preparing to actually continue with their operations and try to search for the suspected zamas. We're currently here at the zama informal settlement. You'd remember just last year there was a shooting incident that happened where about 5 bodies were found just on the highway close to a community called Bosman, which is adjacent to Zama as well. So it can just tell you that these operations have been going on for a while. These zama activities are something that have caused a lot of panic in most of these communities. But joining me right now, I'm speaking to Brenda Murundili from the SAPS. Thank you, Break, for making time for us this morning. Just speak to us around the latest update. How many arrests have been made, and what will be the way forward for today?
Thank you, Pule. Thank you for the opportunity. Overnight and since the beginning of the operations on the 1st, we can confidently say that we have about 48 undocumented persons. We still have 1 person that has been arrested for possession of unlicensed firearm and ammunition, 3 for common robbery, and 4 for possession of suspected stolen property. But we also have a great success in the West Rand yesterday evening, because we know that the operations that are here are displacing the illegal miners. So we were able to arrest, the police in West Rand were able to arrest 4 people, Lesotho nationals, that were arrested with an AK-47 as well as 4 pistols and a lot of ammunition. So they are currently there, also going to be interviewed and by the police's crime intelligence as well as detectives, to ensure that they cannot be linked to any other criminal activities. But as far as the operations are concerned, there were operations overnight. There will be operation 24/7, and currently we are here with the district operation Chanela, while the specialized forces are going to be coming back to this area at a certain time for targeted operations.
What is the main focus here? Are you trying to get probably the syndicate behind this? Because these operations have been going on for quite some time. Something new, but what is SAPS trying to do here? Are you trying to link them to a possible massive syndicate that's on large here?
Yes, Pule. Everyone that has been arrested here and everywhere else that is linked to illegal mining has to go through what we call a processing center. That center comprises mainly of the crime intelligence, seasoned detectives, as well as home affairs, because most of the people that we arrest are undocumented nationals. So with those, when they're being interviewed, and cell phones that they find them with when they are being analyzed, those are the ones that are going to be linked to what we call the level 3, 4, and 5, and then that's when DPCI will be brought in to also take the investigations further.
And then just in regards to the special task team units that are here today, will they continue with the operations? Because we understand there was a bit of a shootout that took place yesterday here on this very area where we are. How many more units are we expecting?
We have all the units in the South African Police Services that are operational. They are being led by Major General Zulu of specialized units from Head Office Operational Response Services. Those units comprises of our elite special task force, as well as a National Intervention Unit, TRT, as well as POP. And they will be here in the area until the police and the management is satisfied that this area has been brought to stabilization.
Thank you very much. I'll continue to get an update from you as well as pertaining to the operations here, but I'm just going to continue to walk. I have, of course, spotted a few other community leaders as well and councillors who have been joining the members of the SAPS. I also just want to speak to this gentleman here, Councillor Musa. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning. I saw you here this morning, but I want to get a sense why you're here, because you're from another community. But why are we seeing you this morning?
So let me tell you what's happening. I've been observing and monitoring the situation on the ground, and it is obvious that we really need some law and order in this country. We see a downslide in the country in terms of many of the areas, surrounding areas, not only here, but also on the south of Johannesburg. And I'm sure you must have seen that today the roads are also blocked as you're coming out from Lenasia. So if I come into Johannesburg or any other area, we got to use different routes, and this becomes a major challenge for many of the residents in and around the suburbs, where there's these type of disturbances in terms of the violence that's taking place and the protest that's taking place. So we really need some strong law enforcement, and I'm very happy to see today that we have the police here. But at the same time, we also need to understand the political dynamics, the humanitarian aspects in terms of what's happening, like especially in my area in Lenasia on the N12. What's been happening there recently is that there's a lot of protest, and this emanates out of poverty, unemployment, and many other reasons. Coupled with it, we also have the load shedding and many of the other issues that's impacting on the country. And I think this country really needs some serious solutions, where we can implement on the ground to assist, where it comes to informal settlements, housing, and unemployment, poverty, etc. So these are some of the issues that we really need to address from a different level, at government level. So I think we need to get these solutions implemented on ground level and sort these problems out. At the same time, having law and order. We cannot have destructive behavior in this country. So this is where we're standing, Pule.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dumelo. That's one of the councillors from the area of Lenasia saying that they're quite worried that these activities of zama operating could spill over to their communities as well. So you get a sense that there's just fear, and communities just want safety. They just want police presence to be active, not only for this next couple of weeks, but for a time. Some have also been calling for a special unit that will primarily focus on the issue of illegal mining as well, to try and end these operations. You can see from the Johannesburg Central Flash, some of the police officers here getting ready as well to embark on these operations here. And they will be, being led by some of the generals and captains into being dispatched into areas where they're supposed to be looking for some of these suspected zamas who are causing trouble in the informal settlement of Zama-Pule. I've also just spotted someone here from the South African National Civic Organization, of course, representing those who are also in the community. Abraham, thank you very much for chatting to us this morning. You're here next to Zama-Pule informal settlement. What is it on the ground? What are the community members saying?
Thank you very much, Pule, and thank you to the viewers of eNCA. We are SANCU, we are very much concerned about the incident that are happening within the community. Because some of the community members, they will tell you the police are working with the zamas, but the fact of the matter is the closure of this shaft. That will be the solution, because even if you can bring stability, more resources in this syndicate, you are not going to get rid of in a night or in whatever. So we are pleading to our government to say, government, please don't waste the resources to bring police here, because this syndicate will come again, and it's bigger than the police. Whether you resource the police or whatever, but this is not going to end up today. What needs to be done, the Department of Mineral Energy must come on board, either close this shaft or legalize them as small-scale mining, so that we can know that it's a operational mining, small-scale mining, that will create jobs and unemployment for the poor community. That's what we can plead with our government. Despite that, come I tell you, we are in crisis, our problems are many as the country. This syndicate is going to end up being the rebels and overtook this country and run with the show. if we are not careful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dr. Abram Mashishi from South African National Civic Organization. Well, Dumela, those are some of the voices here from the ground. We spoke to members of the SAPS who are saying they will be patrolling in this area. It's all boots on the ground. As you can see, these police operations will begin anytime from now. We'll start by searching some of the cars and see whether they can find illegal firearms or anything that may be suspected to be linked to the zamas operations. But of course, other community leaders from other neighboring communities saying that something must be done because these activities end up spilling into other communities. The South African National Civic Organization also saying that the police should be looking into this thing, working in hand with the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy to try put an end to these violent operations, which at the end of the day residents are bearing the brunt of.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, this is a danger even to the lives of the zamas as well. Yesterday we saw image, even these past couple of days, leading up to this past weekend, Pule, of the hole with which these zamas were running under to have some cover as that standoff with the members of the SAPS took place. So number one, their own safety is even in jeopardy. We've seen, how the script goes. At times they lose their lives under these unclosed, mining dumps. And I suppose that begs the question, what can the Lesotho government do as well to work alongside the South African government to put this to a stop? I'm mentioning the Lesotho government because Brenda Murididi had mentioned that these found are suspected, undocumented immigrants. So I suppose more questions will be made and posed in terms of where the answers lie for some intervention. That's my colleague Pule Letshwiti-Jones. We'll come back to you, Pule, as soon as there are any other developments.